Dude, I was
I was late.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our podcast,
The Dark Price of the Spotlight.
Entertainment Edition. What's happening? We never get it right. It's okay.
It's okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Tatiana Liary. I'm a Latin artist. I'm a digital creator. I'm an owner of Liary Content Solutions. I have everything that you want to see about me. You can go to tatianaliary.com. You can check us out on social media. And next to me, we have the legend.
In the flesh.
Judah Crombie.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy to be here. I am a legend, as they so gracefully put it. And, I like music. I love music. It runs through my veins, and I sing and dance. And
I don't know about sing.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's not good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I do
in the
sing.
shower.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
That should be part of it,
I'll sing for you guys before I leave today.
And then off camera today we have Illa Noize.
Illa.
Thank you.
The legend
You
himself.
guys are far too kind. Illa Noize here, music producer with credits Netflix, Hulu, and more.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bum, bum,
Da,
bum,
da, da,
bum.
da.
And you just had a new one, didn't you?
I did. Let's see if I can remember here. It was a Netflix show, King of Collections.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was a nice
check
one. It
that
was
one
a
out.
long
Yeah, it was
long
about.
one.
I think it was about a minute, a little slightly over a minute. So.
Is that right?
So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Fantastic.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. We have an amazing show today, but we have breaking news, so we have to talk
Where's
about
that
it.
breaking news sound?
It was not
Alright.
supposed to be part of today's show, but now we have to bring it up because it's breaking news. We have talked about this for the longest in a lot of episodes, so I feel like it's part of our podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's that Diddy has been arrested.
Oh
Diddy.
yeah. Can we get an applause?
Really?
There it is.
Well done.
Thank God.
I actually wasn't sure if this day was going to come
I know.
because we talked about it in the previous episodes, sometimes people that done bad things but they're really big in the industry don't get to have any repercussions over their actions. So for me today was
Well, I mean,
exciting.
they still haven't found him guilty and been
Correct.
officially, charged.
right, we
so.
still cannot say anything,
But
but
at least he's in their custody.
correct. Yeah. So Diddy has been arrested. Sean Diddy Combs has been charged with sex trafficking after a federal investigation
You
led to
don't
his arrest
say.
in New York.
What a surprise.
New York City. He's facing charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, kidnapping, transportation for prostitution. So prosecutors allege he coerced women into sexual acts of what he called freak-offs.
Yeah,
So
I've heard about
freak-offs
these freak-offs.
events he orchestrated and actually recorded. So they found videos of evidence of these freak-offs, and which he used against the victims as collateral. Ooh. Isn't it crazy? He actually tried to bribe the hotel staff members with a stack of cash.
I'm not surprised.
I know. The feds did not want Diddy to be allowed out on bail. By the time this podcast is out, I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but so far they did not want him to be out on bail. So we'll
Right.
see how this
He's a
I
flight
think they
risk.
believe, flight
Supposed
risk.
that
They
flight
believe
risk,
that
yeah.
he's a threat to society. I think it was.
Well, yeah. Definitely. I'm surprised about the allegations that it was not racketeering, but
the sex trafficking. or
of women.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
you thought it was men?
Yeah.
for
sure.
Wasn't it both, or was it only
Well,
women?
it says women, at least in what the news are
fooled
putting
me.
out there. And then it says here that during raids in March, officials seized 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants from his Miami and LA homes.
Baby
Judy
lotion
said
and
nice.
oil. Oh, yeah. That's great.
Isn't it so crazy?
Phenomenal. He is smooth.
I honestly, I knew he was doing these crazy parties and stuff, but I never knew that it was that big of a deal. I mean, I knew it was big of a deal because a lot of people were victims of this, and it's not cool. But this is actually bigger than I thought.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I mean, I thought it was going to be
out
big like that.
They found like a lot of like firearms, drugs that he used to drug the victims with.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things that I was like, wow.
This was what house was that again?
The LA mansion.
The
Well,
LA
they
mansion?
said it says here Miami and LA
both.
homes. So
Okay.
they probably between both
Combination. Yeah.
a combination they found that.
Yeah. I wonder if he was like hanging out with the Epstein people back then too. I don't know if I've
Actually,
ever heard
someone
that. But
asked one of the prosecutors that question, and he said he had no idea because they feel like. Actually, the question was if they felt that he could be at risk of kind of like committing any type of suicide, like Epstein or people that are in the videos
there's
could
no way.
do any type of, So he said he doesn't know. you
yeah,
know?
he's not gonna. There's no way he would kill himself. I mean, Diddy loves
No, but
Diddy.
it could be somebody that it's in one of those videos maybe that he was bribing or using as collateral, and maybe he's big because that's what happened with the Epstein case. They said that the conspiracy theory is that they did it, not him. That it was all kind of like part of that. Like they had supposedly, because remember when that happened to Epstein, the cameras never worked.
Oh, so
How is that?
Mathematically speaking, there's no way that he wasn't unalived by somebody else. It wasn't him that did it to himself.
Correct.
There's just no way.
So that's what they were saying because the cameras don't work. No,
There
they
was
don't
like a
work. Out of a
million-
sudden,
Yeah.
they don't work. And then it's just like it could happen. I feel like to Diddy if he knows way too much or there's a lot of evidence in those videos. I don't know
it's
how
possible.
big this could be.
I think he was bumping shoulders with elitists.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
these-
someone with that success, that stature, I mean, he's a legend. He's an icon. Everyone knows who Diddy is. you
Right.
know? So he's up there. I wouldn't be surprised.
There's people saying that what Diddy was doing, his whole operation wasn't only on like Epstein level, but probably bigger because he's hanging out with like not just like politician people, because he did have some of those friends too. His group consists of like entertainer, like the most famous people,
Yeah.
And so there was probably a good chance that a lot of the same Epstein client list is probably also kind of, mixed in with the Diddy list.
Yeah.
So it could be on such a big level. This is probably the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
I think a lot of crazy stuff's going to come out or not. They might just try to bury the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Or he might pay someone off or several people off and then come out clean.
Yeah. And then he might just, get depressed while he's in his holding cell, and the camera just might happen to turn off by itself.
Yeah, and then he appears
Yeah.
the next day. Oh, too bad.
With a little note
Unalived.
and some,
Yeah.
like that's probably going to happen. If I was a betting man,
Yeah.
which I kind of am, I would say, yeah, it's probably going to happen.
So
I
you think
hope
it's more
not. I don't
likely
wish-
that will happen than it will not?
It all depends. Like, okay, because one of the things I'm thinking that's possible is they're doing this to make it appear like, oh, we're holding him accountable. But like behind the scenes, they're like, hey, don't worry, we're only doing this so that the public's like satisfied. Like, oh, okay, cool. He's, but then
Yeah.
it's like, we put you in, tie you up in some litigation for a while, make it the story go away, get forgotten,
Yeah.
memory hold it. And then we just kind of move on. And then he ends up, moving to some other country or whatever.
Yeah, what if he fake his death?
Yeah, right? Like, seriously.
And he's in the island.
There's
that
a
they
lot of
say.
conspiracy theories about Michael Jackson
Yeah.
faking his death.
Diddy's gonna be with Michael Jackson, moonwalking his ass.
Tupac faking his death. I mean,
Tupac will be
it's-
there. No, I
We'll
don't
see.
think so.
This is super new, guys. This literally just happened.
Yeah.
We are doing this podcast today, which is Tuesday, and he got arrested last night, Monday. So by the time this podcast comes out, more things might happen.
Oh,
so
it'll
just,
come out, yeah.
Yeah, just, stay tuned
does
because
the
we're going to be
audience-
talking about that.
Does the audience think that they will be able to successfully charge him and get a verdict and he'll end up in jail? Or will he go out free? Like he'll be...
He definitely pled not guilty. So he's
Right.
going to have a trial. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Do we have I got to see this mugshot too. I want to see what his face looks like. But
They
like,
haven't even posted that.
No.
Yeah, 'cause
They
I
have
haven't
it
even seen
super
that.
private because I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
But that was last night.
Last
right?
night.
Wait,
Yeah, they should have processed him.
He was
by now.
arrested here in
New York. 'Cause-
Oh, in New York. That's right.
Yeah,
New York.
because his lawyer said that he kind of knew that this could happen, so he prepared him for it. So he's been living in New York for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then that's when, they got him. I guess he knew that it was a possibility that he was going to get arrested. So he wanted to be nice. And
I'm surprised
himself.
this is actually happening because he does have so much,
Power.
not just power, but like he's got so much dirt, blackmail wise, that I'm actually kind of surprised. That's why I'm wondering if it's like almost like, hey, just to appease the public, let's arrest you, make it look like we're holding you accountable. But really behind the scene, they made like some sort of a deal. That way he's like, okay, the public's happy now, but he gets off scotch-free anyway.
I believe that too. However, the prosecutor said that he tried to bribe certain people with a stack of cash.
Oh boy, yeah. That's
So
right.
they're actually saying that he's trying to do that. Why would they?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's true.
This could be
True.
be legit.
This could be legit.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still think he's innocent personally.
I'm gonna kick your butt.
Leave
And
Diddy
just
alone.
like that, co-host Judah is no longer a part of the
I know there is a lot of other allegations and stuff because someone have said in one of the TikToks, or I don't know if it was Facebook, that a friend of his friend have seen Diddy kissing Trey Songz
Yeah,
in a party.
I've heard that as well.
Not
Yes,
surprised,
I've heard
yeah.
of that for a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kissing all these dudes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't
He's
know.
doing a lot more
So-
than kissing.
Yeah, a lot more. The funniest one is definitely Urkel's dad.
Oh
Oh my God, that was the best podcast. If you haven't heard about that
and they're just
podcast,
passing him. He's to
Yeah.
this day they're still passing
him
him.
around.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that was a great podcast. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
Like, where did I go?
Where did you go? I don't know.
Like that
What are you talking about?
podcast.
Where did it go?
Like I don't remember the I don't remember
which
the
episode is
Yeah,
it?
which episode it is, so I can
okay.
tell you.
we'll find it.
We'll find it. We'll get it
But
for
hey,
you.
that's why you have to watch all of them.
Exactly.
All right, guys. We promise you we will tell you guys about our own paranormal stories.
Ooh, spooky times.
So, and we're going to deliver because, we're going to do it. All right. So, who's going to start? Do you want me to start? I have 2 paranormal activities
Sure.
that are freaking
Whoever
insane.
thinks that they have the scariest story should
I think
go
I have
last.
the scariest. I have 2 scariest.
Do you want to start it off with a bang and go straight to the scariest ones?
Sure.
Okay.
So, one time I was in Puerto Rico in my house that I lived in, that I was raised at, and my neighbor wanted me to take care of her dog, right? And I was like, sure, I love dogs, why not? So finally, we were going to bed, and
Now, were you in your house or you had to go to her house?
no, I just took care of the dog in my house.
That's
Okay.
spooky. Okay.
Yeah. So, and remember, I never seen this dog before. It was a small dog. It was so cute.
Oh, first time meeting the
First
dog?
time meeting the dog. Yeah. I think she just got it. It was like a little puppy. Like it was a cute dog, right?
Okay.
And okay, so nothing. I was sleeping, and out of a sudden, not kidding, I feel my bed kind of like shaking. But when that happened, I was like, wait, that doesn't seem right. But when I woke up, the dog was growling at something. Like literally like, and I'm talking about like, he was like this, ready to fight something that I couldn't see. There was nothing there, and my lights were off. So I'm like, what is this? So then I turn on the light, and he's literally like this with the, like, super upset at something. And he's like this, like
Staring
that,
right
right?
at you.
Staring right at something. No, not at me. He was staring at, just looking at something that I couldn't see. There was nothing
Just like
there.
a random wall.
Random wall, right. And then out of a sudden, he started following it.
Oh boy.
So it was like,
Was he still, with his eyes, with his
his
head
eyes,
looking at
yeah,
it?
looking at it. So I got up, right?
you got up and you're like,
No.
where is it? Putting your hand through it.
Watch. So I was like, oh, heck no. I'm like, I just took care of this dog and he's seeing things. That's terrible. So I went out. I started running away, right? And I went out of the room, and he was still didn't follow me. And the crazy thing is that
This is in
this
the middle of
dog,
the night?
middle of the night, it was like midnight. I don't even know. And this dog always follows. Like, I'm telling you, I wasn't the owner, but this dog always follows.
Okay.
And I ran out of the room, and he never followed me. And I was like, that's so weird. So then I went and I looked again. I was like, I'm going to go back there because I don't know what's going on. So I looked and, and when I looked at him, he was still staring at something.
Did you wake up your mom?
No. So she was still sleeping. So then she was like that. He was like that looking. And I said, well, I'm going to just stand up in front of him to see what happens. So I stand up in front of whatever he was looking at. And his head went like this. And I know you cannot see me, but it tilted to the right. Like kind of like what am I seeing right now? Literally.
Yeah, like how dogs do normally when they're
correct.
looking at something they don't quite understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, huh?
So he literally went like,
wow.
what is going on? So I said, oh my God, let's go. Let's go out of the room. Something is in the room and it's not positive. So I started telling him, let's go. He would not go. So then I got out and from the door, I was like, come on, let's go.
And
so
when you were standing in the spot that he was looking at, did you feel anything
nothing.
different?
I didn't feel anything.
Like cold or
Nothing.
atmosphere,
I was just,
air?
No, nothing. I was just scared because I'm like, I've never seen this before. So then when I got out, I said to him, come on, we need to go. It's okay. I'm here with you, whatever. He instead, this is so crazy, guys. You need to watch this on YouTube because I can explain. But he didn't just, this is the room, right? So this is the door and he is this way. So for him to get out of the door, all he has to do is jump the bed and come right out. Mm-hmm. He didn't do that because I guess he was freaking out. He went from the side and his body, he put all like sliding on the walls.
Like he was just on the edge of the room.
On the edge because he didn't want to touch whatever it was.
Wow.
And then after he went like in the little corner of the actual door, then he ran with me.
So then what happened after that?
The next day, because I was in Catholic school.
Where did you sleep? Just on the sofa?
No, I actually went back to it. I went back and I said nothing is and then he started growling again. So what I did, I ignored it. So I know I'm crazy,
Damn.
but I went back to the room. I said, I have school tomorrow. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this crap. So I told the dog, I don't care. I'm going to go to bed. So I turned off the light and he grew like he was growling a couple of times, but I just decided not to even care.
And then he just ended up
sleeping and stopping for a while, but he did it a couple of times. And that was the weird thing. So then the next day I went and I talked to a priest because I was Catholic at the time. And he literally said that there's no way there was something good in there. So my mom decided to actually get, like a priest come to the house or whatever she did. Like, I can't even remember, but she had like people praying or whatever in the house. And yeah, because it was pretty crazy.
They did like a exorcism or something on the house, maybe?
Yeah, maybe something. I don't know exactly what she did because I wasn't even home when she did it.
And after that, no issues?
Well, I don't know. I'd give the dog away. So, I mean, it's not my dog.
You personally, like the bed shaking, like...
That was only the dog because she was growling.
Oh,
so
I see.
What I felt shaking was the growling.
Oh, okay.
But which at the time, that's what it woke me up.
Okay.
I
thought something else is shaking your
body. No. And I really, until this day, I don't know what that dog saw. I don't know. But it was so evil that he couldn't even jump over. I never seen a dog literally lean into a wall like this and staring at something that's not even nothing in there.
Man.
So until this day, I don't know what that was.
What happened? So when the priest came to the house to bless the house, basically, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a pastor or a priest. I'm assuming it was a priest because my mom is Catholic.
Yep.
So yeah.
Did they give you any information? Were they like,
no, not
something's
me.
dark is in there?
No, They just, I guess, pray about it. They probably didn't even believe it because I don't even know. But my mom freaked out because it's her house.
Yeah.
Right.
So she ended up doing that. And yeah, it was kind of like a strange situation because I'm like, I wonder how long that has been there. And I haven't been able to pick it up.
I was going to ask you, like, did you have any other issues before the dog came?
No.
Like, ever?
No.
Like,
I had like dreams and
so
stuff like that.
weird.
But like physically like that, really looking at something, never. So I don't know if the dog, they say dogs can see things that we cannot see sometimes.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't because he stayed there that night, I would not know.
Yeah, they say that animals are sensitive to spiritual things, or they can see a broader range of whatever,
Yeah.
things that humans can't see. And I've heard that so many times about, animals, dogs, cats, or whatever, sensing these things.
Yeah.
And so for him to be that, like, have that extreme of a reaction is like, what else would it be, right? Unless he was just tripping on something, like ate some mushrooms outside on a walk or something. Like, what else?
That's true.
I'm pretty sure I didn't take him on a walk
No.
because no.
No, but I heard some people are actually a little bit more sensitive to spiritual stuff too.
Yeah, they say actually kids supposedly some of
yeah,
them
I've
are
heard that
born to with that, and then they don't develop it. So that's why
Right.
kids or babies, they said that sometimes they see things and laugh or smile at things. It's because maybe they can sense things, but then they don't end up developing it when they're
Right.
adults.
Right.
So
Well, I just think the education system and everything like that doesn't tap into that, like
right. It's kind of like
Today,
you believe
kids,
or
we're
not.
going to
Teaches you
talk
about
about when you see that imaginary friend, it's actually a demon.
No,
It's for
but
real.
well, there have been stories where kids have said that, oh, this is my friend so and so.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the
Oh,
moms
then
is like, who
parents
is
were
this?
like, you're a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the beginning of half the scary movies out there.
Yeah.
There's like some
Right,
kid,
right.
like,
That's
oh,
true.
this is Mr. Wanky, and he's my good friend, and like I play the Ouija board, and he shows
Right.
up. He's really nice.
Oh, geez.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? I do have another story. I don't know if
Okay.
you wanted to say it
Of course.
before you say yours, Judah.
Yep.
So, do you remember the movie White Noise?
Who was the actor in that?
Michael Keaton.
I feel like I've seen it. Was it in the 90s, 2000s?
It was pretty old because I was very young. I mean, I was not too young, but
Man, I feel like I did, but it's been a long
anyways,
time.
it was
I have,
about
yeah.
I guess like ghosts or people from the other side can communicate through some waves and
yeah.
statics
Oh,
and
yeah.
all
I
these like
remember
white
that.
noises when you turn on the TV and that shh thing, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, okay, you're gonna know I'm kind of old when I tell you this, but by that time there were DVDs, right?
What's that? I never even heard.
Yeah, shut
What's
up.
a DVD?
Well, at that time, DVDs came with like a special features.
So it came out in 2005, by the way.
2005, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
You're
they
not that old. 2005.
yeah.
I was already like 50 with a
Shut up. No.
gray
So
beard.
at that time, they come with this special features that you want to, after the movie,
Oh, I
you
remember
can,
those.
yeah, remember you can look at it and see. So this freaking movie had a special feature on how to communicate with the other side.
Oh,
And it was kind of like recording, like when we're recording this, but like more like when you record music, that you can see things.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was saying, you need to tell them if there's somebody here from the other side, please make a noise or do this or
Yep.
right. So I was with next man at that time. And he was like me. I was like, let's just try this. This is kind of fun because he used to record my songs, So he's like, let's try this. And he started doing it. And he's like, come on, if there's somebody from the other side. And I was like, come on, just make a noise. Just do something. Nothing was happening. We were there for like 30 minutes. Nothing. Maybe even an hour. And I said, oh my God, this is so BS. This doesn't exist. Nothing is going to happen. And the thing started going like this. As soon as I said that, I literally said, this is BS.
You made it mad.
Yeah, and he was going like this. So I was like,
And both of you
no.
seen that? Both
Yeah.
of you saw it?
So then the idea is that then you play it to see if someone said something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, help me.
No.
That. I swear to God.
And
You
where
heard
was
it.
this?
Oh.
This was in his house.
You heard the voice after you slowed it down and like turned
slow
it
it
up?
down. He says, help me. Just like that.
Ooh.
And once that happened, we closed the computer and we said, nope.
Now,
You didn't help
has he has he ever experienced anything weird like before that?
I
Like,
don't
at his
think
house?
so. He used to work, I guess, to a place that was like haunted and stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, but other than that, no.
Brought something back, or maybe I don't know.
I don't know, but we tried for the longest and nothing was happening. So we were about to give up. We literally were like, oh, this is BS. This doesn't work. Maybe there's nothing here. Good for you. Your house is great.
Right, because not everything is
Right.
is going to
So-
be in every house.
Right. So I ended up just closing it and we're like, whatever. But after, I was like, what? And then he's like, no. And then when we put it, he says, help me. So then when his mom came, because his mom lived there too, she said, I want to hear it. And then she heard it and she said, you better go to church tomorrow and whatever you brought into my house, get it out of here. She was so mad. that we were bringing those things. And I'm like, I didn't know this was going to happen. I thought it was fun, you know? So I don't know, but I heard it. He heard it. His mom heard it. It said, help me.
The ghost, instead of saying something so cliche, like help me, like, oh, ooh, whatever, that's what ghosts say. He should have farted or something funny. Like, if I was a ghost, I would have fun with the people I'm scaring. Maybe, like, communicate with us somehow, and they're all quiet, and all of a sudden you see it go, and it's like, slow it down,
I
turn
actually
it up.
would do that too. Would love to do like tickling people at night.
Tickling their feet.
Tickling their feet. And
You
stuff.
know, putting, what is it, the shaving cream on their head, tickling them so they smash their
Oh yeah, tickling their hand or their face.
Yeah, and then so like have fun, man. If you're a ghost, have fun when you're scaring somebody.
Yeah.
So if there's any ghosts watching out here, let us know.
I hope not. Don't mess with me, bro.
No.
Yeah,
No, this is a good. But no,
Exactly.
that's why you don't play with fire. This is why we talk about the deliverance, and a lot of people are fighting me, saying, "I watched a movie that wasn't scary. Nothing happened. I
I've
will watch
seen
it
that.
again." And I'm like, I just don't want to open those doors anymore because I've done it. I experienced
Right.
things like that.
And
you
just
know?
because you open the door doesn't mean 100% of every time you open the door something's going to happen to you.
Right.
We're not saying that. That's absurd. But there is this possibility of something,
right.
you know, kind of entering in that door. And it isn't, we don't know what it can be, you know, it can be a variety of different things, but it's not good.
Yeah.
So
I just can't believe you didn't help him.
I didn't help him. I was like,
Judah is
nope.
stuck on that help.
How rude.
He's actually still there.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's probably still waiting for help.
He's like, come on, Tatiana.
It was
what are
in
you gonna-
2005.
I asked for help and you just leave me here? Like, that's mean.
Tell us your story, Judah.
I seriously though, when it comes to this kind of stuff, some of the stories that I've experienced some things that people probably wouldn't even believe, to be honest with you. But and a few of them are too long. I can't even really share them. I'll have to save it. But I mean, one of them I think we should turn into a movie probably because it's so freaking.
You should do it.
It's like, yeah, there's a lot of people involved in different states and stuff. It's like, but I don't have enough time tonight for that one. So
Maybe
I'll
the
go
next one.
Yeah, for the next one. I'll go to a couple of the shorter ones that are 100% real, not making any of it up. My sister will definitely vouch for this one. I was living in Fairview, Oregon, and a block away from her house, there's this like old two small cells in this old jail from like the 1800s or early 1900s, right? Abandoned, of course. Very old. It's like a historic place now that's protected, right? I think it's like a tourist place now. People go there on field trips and stuff. So it's abandoned and it's so creepy. It's like out of a movie. It's like, oh, look at that. It's so old and decrepit. And you walk and you look in there through the little bars. There's windows with bars. The front gate, I do remember that you could see through, and I think those were also barred, you know? And there was like an old wheelchair, like really super rusty with like spider webs all over. I'm like, why is there an old creepy wheelchair in there from like the early 1900s? That's creepy. Why would they
super
leave
cliche,
it? It's almost, it's like a movie set.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, me and my sister got, into our head that we wanted to get inside the cell, which I don't know why we thought we could because it's really thick concrete.
Yeah.
But we started digging on the side of it, down at the ground where it meets the dirt, the dirt. And I'm trying to dig in because I'm like, hey, maybe I could dig under it and I'll get into it somehow.
Yeah.
Because there was it's probably this old door that looked like it was a staircase that went down, which is odd
That's
because of
really
how
weird.
small it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're sitting there digging into this old jail cell, and about 6-7 feet up, there's a tiny window. It's probably like 1.5 by 1.5 feet square with 5 bars on it. And I'm like, just like an hour later after digging this hole, I'm like, wait, I want to hop up there and look inside for some reason. I don't even know why, because the sun was setting, it was getting dark. And I was just kind of creeped out all of a sudden. Like I just got this weird, creepy feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to look inside this jail cell because I feel like something's in there.
Yeah.
And my sister was like getting all spooked out by the whole thing, just the feeling she was getting. So she backed up 20 feet. She's like, come on, Judah, let's go home. And I'm, probably 15 years old at the time. She's like 12. And I jump up and I grab the bars to lift myself up. And so I lift myself up to look inside the little window. And as soon as I got like right about here to the window, I didn't even actually look in there. I just kind of got up, and then like I froze with fear, like paralyzing fear, where you can't move.
I hate that.
The back of your neck stands up, like the hair stand up.
Like you cannot scream.
Yeah, I froze. I was just like, nope. And I just kind of like dropped, and I fell on my back. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I think we should go. So we back up. I go to where she's at, looking into the window. And I go, if something is in there or if someone's in there, show yourself.
Oh my God.
There you
do that?
go, opening those windows.
see?
Yeah, never do that. Never test it and be like, come on, let's hear it, like the help me thing,
Yeah.
So I'm like, if there's in there, show yourself. And I saw, I'm not kidding, a shadowy face or head. I could barely make out any kind of features. It was mostly shadow. Pull itself up like I was, like that, and just stop. And it just, but I couldn't make out like.
Did you see eyes?
Kind of vaguely.
Okay.
Like almost like
it was
shadow.
ghost-like.
Yeah,
like transparent, but more shadowy, dark. And I was just like, frozen again, and like, oh my God, am I seeing this right now? And my sister saw it too. We both booked at the same time. We just started running.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I got goosebumps.
Gone.
And, so we get to our place. We get inside, and we're just like, oh my gosh, did you see that? And she's like, yeah, I saw it too. And I'm like, that shadowy thing. And she was like, had this face of almost like not surprised, but like she's like
shocked.
Not just shocked, but anyway, I'll just say it because then it'll explain it better. I'm like, what? What's up? Spit it out. What were you gonna say? And she's like, I didn't want to say this, but I saw you. I'm like, what? She goes, I saw your face when it pulled up, whatever that was.
So it kind of like transformed into your face?
Yeah. So she's like, I saw your face. And I'm like, oh, don't say that. Like, that's not what I wanted to hear. That's like just made it 5 times creepier.
It's probably a demon.
Probably.
Wow.
Wait, are you saying I'm a demon? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but trying to transform into
or imitate me or something.
Yeah.
To make it scarier. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so creepy. Like we were just both in agreement. Like this was freaking terrifying. Later on, for whatever reason, I got really not myself. I don't want to say possessed, but I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was an observer, almost like outside of my body, almost like I wasn't the one controlling myself or something. It's hard to explain. And for whatever reason, my sister's sitting there talking, and I feel myself staring at her like with this like mean gaze at my own sister talking. And she said she felt me staring at her, and then she like was like looked at me all slow, like, what are you staring at me for like that? And I was like, what are you staring at me like that for? Like I started mimicking her, like copying what she was saying.
That's so weird.
All weird.
Did you remember doing that?
Kind of like a dream, state. And so I'm like copying her, mimicking her, but in like a very mocking kind of way. And I just felt like angry, but not like I was dreaming. And something scared her because she ran away from me. And then later on, I ended up talking to her. She came back shortly after. I forget how long. But I was like, so...
Did you come back to your senses? Like, come back to
yourself?
Yeah.
So what happened was she left because she was so freaked out. And I was like, what's going on? What is all this? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel detached from myself?
Yeah, that's scary.
And I think it was the next day. I don't know if she went to a friend's or not. Anyway, I went to bed. The next day we wake up and we're talking about like, how freaking weird was that? And she's like, yeah, when you were staring at me all weird, I felt you, but it didn't feel like it was you. It felt like it was like some other entity or something. Like she's like, I felt this like just evil presence. And I was like, I felt like I was in a dream. Like, what am I doing staring at my sister like that? Like all mad for no reason. And she goes, I ran because I heard this voice coming from like my left ear to my right ear, and it said, get out, as it went past her head.
No way.
Yes way. And that's why she ran.
Wow.
And she's like, it was like quiet at first, like, get out, right past her, zoomed past her head. She booked, she was out.
And where were your parents all this time? I mean,
I don't think my dad was living with us at the time, and my mom was probably working like a graveyard shift, I believe.
Oh.
So, we're there alone, no parents, and that all happens. I think my sister probably ran away and went to one of her friends' houses for the night or something. But that whole experience was just bizarre.
Damn.
That's pretty crazy.
Crazy. I ended up.
That's why you don't open the door.
You don't open the door, and so I was praying about it, and
Of course.
exercising my the house and blessing the house. I was
Yeah.
just praying, like going around room to room, because her saying the get out thing, and then the shadow, my fate, like the whole thing was so bizarre and just terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's not even really that bad of a scary
other
story.
stories?
No, yeah, I've had
You need to tell us the other stories next time.
Yeah,
we want to
we need
hear
it.
all about it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine isn't nowhere as scary as yours.
Well, have you had any experience?
Well, me personally, no. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. But my mom has, and so she actually told me this story a long time ago, and I kind of carried it with me, and that's why I never opened the door, because it kind of, I guess, scarred me,
with you, yeah.
stuck with me, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to mess with that. So
Maybe that's why you haven't had any stories, because you haven't opened the door.
that's what I'm saying, knock on wood, thank
Very
God.
smart. Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this was a long time ago. I want to say probably back in the 80s. I don't think I was alive then. So my parents, they like to hang out at their friend's house, especially on Saturday nights. And they'll just go to their, it's a very common casual thing, go to their friend's house, and they'll play cards or dominoes, watch movies, whatever. And so they decided to go ahead and do that weekend. And at their friend's house, it was the aunt was there. She was taking care of her nephew, I guess.
Yeah.
And so two nephews actually. So it was an older one. He was like maybe 14. The other one was like, I don't know, maybe like 8, 9, something like that. So they were like, you know what? Let's go ahead and watch a movie. Let's hang out. You got the kids, whatever. And at that time, Halloween was kind of big, out or whatever. And so they started watching the movie or whatever. And then midway through the movie, the big kid, the 14-year-old, he's like out of nowhere, he just like hit the smaller brother for no reason.
That sounds like a sister
It's very
brother,
common.
like a siblings.
Sibling
Yeah,
fighting,
normal.
whatever. But it was like very random. Like it was just
Like he got possessed too. Like
Yeah, weird.
I don't know. So anyway, so he hit him, and then the aunt, she's like, "What are you doing? Oh my God, why are you hitting the? Listen, if you're gonna hit someone, you gotta hit someone like me. Pick on someone your own size, so to speak, right?" And then that like embarrassed him. Like he was like boiling. His blood was boiling, or whatever. And then she stood up. And then as soon as she stood up, he pushed her. He pushed her so hard that she fell on top of the chair and broke it.
oh geez.
Like it wasn't just like a
gosh.
soft like, oh, you just kind of pushed it. No, like, she literally broke the chairs.
Wow.
And then at that point, she was, I mean, obviously at that situation just escalated 100%. So at that point, she got up and then she went to the kitchen and she got a knife.
Oh,
Big old, just the big
Just like it
knife.
was the movie, but in real life.
Yeah, exactly. And so as soon as she got that, she started running after the kid, and then everyone there like was just kind of like in shock, like what the hell is going on? And so they ended up finally kind of grabbing her and fighting the taking out the knife from her, and it was just crazy, And listen, I get it. Like kids can be kids. Like they're just always gonna pick on their brothers and sisters, whatever. But I don't know. She like from that point on, my mom was like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch movies like that, like horror movies or anything
Scary
like that.
movies like that.
Yeah.
Because you think it brings something to it.
Yeah, and Halloween, like nowadays, like there's like 10 Halloweens or whatever. Like we think, whatever.
I've seen Halloween many times. I actually love it.
But I do think,
I mean,
like,
not that I love it, but I don't mind it. I watched the last one. It was pretty good. Like
right,
I can see where she's coming from,
right.
But I don't know.
Well, there's two things. So number one, Halloween was relatively new. Like at
Yeah.
that time, that was like back in the 80s or whatever. And number two, I feel like nowadays we're very desensitized.
That's true.
So like we can see all this blood and people killing left and right, and we're just like, it's not scary. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, you know,
At that time, it's probably like a big deal.
right. And so basically she told me that story, like I said before, and ever since then I'm like, you know
Actually, I
what?
feel like older movies are more scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like The Exorcist, no way. That's one of the scariest movie I've ever seen. Children of the Corn or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's scary. Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Like I
Poltergeist.
think they're like more.
E.T. Phone.
No, it is the scariest.
Yep. Fruity Pebbles. I mean Pebbles.
But I can see why, you know, certain people
Yeah.
think that watching a scary movie can bring some type of bad energy and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're
So-
playing with the dark side, or not the dark side, but you know what I mean, the spiritual side. It's like
Well,
an
they
invitation.
say your eyes are, what is it called?
The windows
the
of the
windows
soul.
of the soul. So whatever you're watching, you're absorbing.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
And a lot
that-
of people won't take this seriously. They'll be like, whatever, scary movies are fine. And hey, maybe nothing will ever happen to them. You know,
Right.
like I said, I'm not saying it's guaranteed something's going to happen to you 100%.
But
But
I've seen.
I just rather not even play that game
Yep.
because I'm like, I don't want to experience that.
I
I'm
love
good.
that. That's how you approach that whole thing, and I think that's smart. And like as Christians, I shouldn't be doing it, but for whatever reason, I loved scary movies. I grew
Yeah.
up with them, like we talked about last
Well,
time.
Yeah.
my
I loved
mom
it.
did too. Like she literally told me the scarier, the better.
Yeah.
She was like, the more blood, the more scary. Like I loved it.
She probably loved Evil Dead. Then that was like one of those
Probably.
movies.
But look, now she would never watch any of it because
Yeah.
of what that experience.
Yeah, you
happened.
learn from it.
Yeah, because
And-
that night could have ended up like terrible. Like someone could have died that
Yeah,
night.
exactly. I think that it's very respectable that you have done that for so many years. And that just is amazing to me because like if my mom would have told me don't do this, I'd be like, well,
I'm definitely doing it.
maybe.
Hey, I did plenty of other things that my mom told me not to do.
Haven't we all?
But he didn't watch a scary movie.
Right.
But no scary movies. though.
But that's the reason why you don't have an experience, which I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, I got one more quick one.
Yeah.
This would be quick. This
Quickie?
is pretty a little quickie. This was probably within the last like 8 years. So
Oh wow. Okay.
I went to this store. It was a liquor store. I'm not gonna lie. It was a liquor store.
Okay.
But I was going to get like cigarettes or something. That's way back when I smoked. I go in there. There's a homeless gentleman outside on the sidewalk by the door, and he's like asking for either money or to buy him a drink or something along those lines. And I was like, oh, sorry, I don't have it. So I go inside. Then I have like a change of heart. Maybe it was like a Gatorade or something that I got him.
Okay.
So I get him a Gatorade. I'm like, I'll give him something nice. It's a hot day out.
Yeah.
So I buy that for him. I come back out, and I'm like, here you go, brother. Have a good one. God bless, And I'm walking away. He's like, oh, thanks, Judah. And I go, yeah, you're no problem. And I stop, and I'm like, hey, how do you know my name? I didn't tell you my name. I never
is
met
so
the guy.
scary.
I never
Yeah.
met the guy in my life. He was just like a random homeless guy there. And I'm like, how did you get my name like that? And I'm like pretty interested at this point now. He goes, oh, we have our ways. I'm like, we?
Wow.
Who's we? He's like, we. I'm like,
Did you think it was an angel?
no,
or
This was because it gets weird.
Oh.
And I'm like, interesting. So I go up to him. I start talking. I'm like, so that's pretty bizarre that you got my name and you're saying we have our ways. Like, am I being punked? Like, is Ashton Kutcher about to hop out?
Yeah.
Because like this is bizarre. So
Yeah, you're kind of keeping it light. You're like,
yeah. I'm like,
know.
is this guy trolling somehow?
right.
But he's like getting into some weird philosophy stuff about spirituality and how he knows my name through the spiritual world or whatever. And I'm like, interesting. And we start talking about God, and he's like, oh yeah, I believe in God. And I go, okay, phew. This guy's
You're
not
like, that guy's one of mine.
yeah,
One
I'm
of
like,
me.
he's not like a bad guy. Oh, okay, good. And I brought up my religion, which is Christianity. So I brought up like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I know. Jesus something. I forget what it was about, but he ended up being like really offended, and his body language and his face changed. He was just like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a Jesus. That's what we believe in as Christians. He's like, he said something really like blasphemous about Jesus. I don't even really want to say it. I'm not going to because just saying it was like so blasphemous,
Yeah.
just gross. I was like, oh yeah, no man, I'm gonna have to like disagree with you on that one. He's like, no, not at all, because and he goes on this rant about how Jesus is like not what we thought, and he was like some evil thing, and I'm like, no, that's not true at all. And once I started like getting into the Jesus thing with him, I noticed he starts talking in a different sounding voice, not just like angrily, but the actual sound of his voice itself started changing, and he starts getting really like
upset,
heated, mean face, just blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait, don't go, man. Let's pray together about it. Like, I want to end it on good terms. So I'm like getting closer. I'm like, it's all right, man. Like, I'm not.
And he disappeared.
He just started getting louder and started being incoherent and talking in a different voice that was like just angrier, growly, like a growl almost, like he started. It's almost like he all of a sudden was like on some LSD trip or something, which maybe he was. I don't know, but like. He starts walking away. He's getting louder as he's walking away. He's starting to scream.
It was almost like you touched something very...
something that offended him on a spiritual level. Like he starts yelling into this guy, like cussing and stuff out loud as he's walking away. And I'm just like sitting there with my mouth dry. I'm just like,
what? It just
looking around. There's other people looking. There's other people just
wow.
Look, we're all looking at each other like, what the heck was that about? And I'm like, I don't know. He knew my name too. Like, I start talking to him. He starts freaking out and stuff. I really wish that I would have followed up with him at some point. I kind of wanted to see him again.
Have you ever seen him again?
I never saw him again, and I was really curious. And because like I don't hate the guy. I mean, it was weird how he got all pissed off and like aggro on me, but I want to know why.
It's like, funny that you mentioned that he knew other people's names too.
Did I say that he knew other people's names?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because you said that there was other people watching, and you guys were all kind of like looking at each other.
Oh, that's
like,
right. He looked at me and goes, and make sure when you're doing that podcast with Josh and Tatiana,
oh my God, you're
10
so
years
stupid.
from now, that you remind them that
I don't think he said that.
No.
He just said I misheard.
Yeah, but it went. Oh yeah, when he said we have our ways, that's probably what you might be thinking about, which I found odd. We have our ways.
Who is you and who is the other person?
I feel like that was a demon,
dude. He was the way he made it look and sound is like he's implying that like he's like full of them, like demons or something, because he was like, oh, we have our ways. So either he was pulling some clever trick on me, and somehow
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And plus, like, why would you just start tripping out all of a sudden and like getting that upset just because I brought up like a name, right? Yeah, I know it's Jesus's name, right? Which can invoke some emotions from people, but the way he did it was like not human. It was definitely like on a different level.
What if he called you Judah because he was the one that like
where are you going with this?
engañó a Jesús? How do you say that? Like
that's Judas.
Oh, you're talking about Judas that betrayed you?
Did he call you Judas or
no,
Judah?
He said Judah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's scary.
Yeah, and it started off innocent. Yeah. Thanks, Judah. And I was like, yeah, you bet.
Like super sure that was your name.
Oh, yeah, for sure. With confidence and like casual. Oh, thanks, Judah. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Wait, huh?
Yeah.
What? Oh, we have our ways. I'm like, all right.
That's very weird.
It didn't scare me, just to be clear. It didn't scare me. I wasn't afraid of it. It was just bizarre. And I'm like, okay, unless
like,
somehow he knew my name, I go, honestly, all that did was just kind of strengthen my belief, because I'm like, okay, that just kind of showed me that the spiritual stuff is very real.
Yeah.
And I just like really upset this guy because if you got demons and the Bible ends up being true, I'm not surprised he got offended by it.
Yeah.
Because you're saying some
the same
blasphemous
thing with what
stuff.
happened to me. Like people always say, I don't believe in any of that or whatever. But I'm like, I have experiences and it's not out of my craziness, because that dog has nothing to do with me. It's not even my dog. And it happened the night that I took care of him. So it is a real thing. This is crazy.
Do you think for you, does it kind of strengthen your faith even?
Yeah.
Because nobody, even if they don't believe us, nobody can take that away from you.
Yes.
Your experiences.
And I have
mine
more
and yours.
experiences.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time to say
I
it
know.
all.
At some point, we
But
gotta
at
do
some
more.
point, but I do have other ones that are pretty crazy.
We'll continue on other episodes because we are running
this
about.
is actually very long.
Very long.
We're almost an hour talking about our
Christmas.
stories.
Sorry, audience.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. We'll probably leave the next one. It's gonna be super crazy too, and maybe we'll be adding more to it. Maybe we'll say more stories.
Oh, we had another topic.
I got an angel story.
we have
I
more
got an angel
topic.
story I got to share
Really?
next time too.
There
Yeah,
you
we'll
go.
gotta
Angel
balance
stories.
it out. Yeah.
So, well, next episode is gonna be good too. We're gonna have also, maybe not in the next one, but the following, we might have our first guest, which I'm super excited about. So please stay tuned.
It's Diddy, right?
Is Diddy? Is it
Diddy's gonna be here, guys.
Oh.
No way, man. No way. Leave him in jail. So thank you so much for joining us. Remember to subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Smash, smash, smash.
Do that. La la la.
Bow.